Imagine a secret and secluded land. Headhunting tribes. Tiger-infested forests. Uncharted mountains shrouded in mist. And raging waterfalls. The 7 states of northeast India are among the least explored places on Earth. We reveal a world of dramatic landscapes and magnificent wildlife. Welcome to India's Lost World. The northeast of India is hard to reach and has a turbulent history. It's been closed to foreigners for many years. Known as the 7 Sisters of India, it comprises 7 relatively unexplored and isolated states. They're bordered by the Himalayas to the north and spread south towards the Indian Ocean. Jungle-clad mountains create their own weather systems. Rain falls almost continually on some of the world's wettest habitats. As a result, life flourishes. Plants grow at an astonishing rate, providing homes for many rare insects and animals, and several mysterious tribes. This is one of the most beautiful, pristine, and unexplored places on Earth. Nestling in the foothills of the Himalayas is a lush, green, and mountainous world. Forests and valleys teem with life. And they're home to a quarter of the world's Asian elephants. Once, they migrated freely across India on an epic 1,300-kilometer journey. Today, their age-old paths are punctuated with obstacles and danger. But herds continue their quest to find better grazing and ample water by following the monsoon north. Their annual trek takes them through jungles, across plains, and up mountains over 3,000 meters high. The herd is led by the oldest female, the matriarch. It's her responsibility to remember the ancient roots. Elephants need a huge amount of food to sustain them. Adults need to eat nearly 200 kilograms of vegetation a day. That's the same weight as 2.5 fully grown men. And they need over 100 liters of water a day to wash it down. The prehensile trunk contains over 100,000 muscles. It's an amazing multi-purpose tool, used for breathing, smelling, and communicating, and can be a dangerous weapon. It also makes an excellent shower. Elephants love water. But the bathers can't linger. The matriarch must get her herd back on track and continue to follow the path of the monsoon. Adult elephants are too large to be threatened by predators. But for a young elephant, India's forests can be deadly. Tigers sometimes kill calves. With adults close, the youngster is safe, for now. The forests harbor a wealth of creatures. Big cats patrol the undergrowth. And as night falls, a shaggy recluse comes out of hiding. The sloth bear lives deep in the forest. And it makes a lot of noise as it wanders alone in search of food. Sloth bears mainly feed on termites and ants, and they've evolved an expert way to dig them out and feed. Long curved claws break into nest mounds with ease. Once they've opened a hole, they blow away loose dirt and suck up insects through a gap in their front teeth like a vacuum. As the sun rises over India's lost world, an orchestra of natural sounds fills the air. The tropical mountain forests of northern India are rich in flora and fauna, and there is a good reason why. The almost constant rainfall. India's northeastern state, Meghalaya, is the wettest place of all. Meghalaya means abode of clouds. On average, 1,200 centimeters of rain falls here every year. This fuels rapid and remarkable plant growth. Plants and insects have evolved into many weird and wonderful forms. An enormous moon moth mimics a quivering leaf. Its huge size is made possible by this humid environment. Local people are never short of water. They embrace nature in all its forms and utilize the rapid rate of plant growth in the most ingenious way. The roots of Indian rubber trees are trained across the river and embedded on the other side. This creates a living root bridge which will carry on growing for decades. This bridge has taken over 30 years to reach this size. Meghalaya's hills and mountains reach over 2,000 meters high and shadow a vast plateau. On its southern edge, the Meghalayan hills fall away to Bangladesh's floodplains. The steep hills are littered with waterfalls, which spring to life after every downpour. Nokkalikai Falls drop over 300 meters. They are the fourth tallest waterfall in the world. Cascading falls have immense power. Over millennia, they've carved an incredible maze of caverns and caves deep within the hills. Gentier Hills hide the longest cave system in India. They spread out over 20 kilometers. Huge stalactites, thousands of years in the making, decorate the walls. Water drips, trickles and pours everywhere. Untold water gives rise to steamy rainforests across the whole of northeast India. The rich plant growth provides a home for a mass of birds and insects. And many rare primates. Spectacled monkeys live high in the canopy, in troops up to 35 strong. They spend around 4 hours a day feeding on leaves, fruit, and the occasional flower. Their stomachs are specially adapted with extra bacteria to help them digest tough leaves and unripe fruits. Spectacled monkeys are most active in the early morning and late afternoon. All 4 limbs come into play to help them leap and scamper through the trees. Females give birth to 1 baby at a time. This youngster will stay with her mother for about 3.5 months. Play is an important part of growing up for all primates. Branches bend under the weight of boisterous youngsters. Adults stay on the lookout for danger. One of their deadliest threats is also one of the stealthiest. An Indian python is on the lookout for an easy meal. Its huge, camouflaged body disappears among the leaf litter. Pits on the snake's face sense warm-blooded prey. Indian pythons can grow to over 6 meters and can easily swallow a monkey whole. The highly sensitive forked tongue tastes the air, creating a picture of the world around it. The python knows food is close. It bides its time until the moment is right to strike. The snake coils its muscular body around its victim and squeezes tight until its prey suffocates. It then swallows its meal whole. By unhinging 3 parts of its jaw, its mouth opens 180 degrees. The python's skin is also extremely elastic. It can swallow prey 5 times the size of its head. It's the human equivalent of swallowing a whole watermelon. It gulps down the monkey head first, so its limbs don't get stuck. Muscular contractions help to push it down into its stomach. Snake's saliva eases swallowing by lubrication and contains powerful enzymes that break down the monkey's body. But pythons aren't the primate's only threat. Local people often hunt and eat monkeys too. Northeast India is home to more tribes than anywhere else on Earth. The isolated state of Arunachal Pradesh is especially rich in indigenous people and culture. Meaning land of the dawn-lit mountains, Arunachal Pradesh is India's easternmost state. One of the groups of people who live here are the Apatani. Their lives are dictated by the ebb and flow of the rain and the forest's seasonal fruits. The Apatani have no written record of their history. Local traditions are passed down from generation to generation. One practice, fast disappearing, is the traditional Apatani nose plugs, worn by most of the tribe's elder women. There was a time when every woman wore these unusual accessories. The nose plug is said to have been adopted as a way of protecting the women of the tribe. Local legend says the Apatani women were considered the most beautiful among all the Arunachal tribes. Their villages were constantly raided by neighbors and the women kidnapped. So, to make themselves less attractive, Apatani women began wearing nose plugs and tattooing their faces. But the custom hasn't been practiced by any woman born after 1970. As time passes, it may be forgotten. But other ancient practices are still carried out in isolated pockets of this mysterious region. A village elder performs a ritual chicken sacrifice to encourage rainfall. He's alleged to be 133 years old. These Apatani women have come together to initiate a wedding ritual at the bride's home. Over 100 women from neighboring villages take part in a long march. They pass through farms and fields, carrying baskets full of rice, topped with bamboo shoots and a pair of eggs. It's part of a fertility ritual dating back thousands of years. The bride's mother brings up the rear as the bride leads the way to her future husband's home. When they arrive at the groom's house, the rice is taken to the family granary. The women are given a token of appreciation. They're fed and rest after their exhausting trek. The next day, the bride brings rice powder and holy water, the essential ingredients for the wedding ceremony. The village elder overseeing the ceremony brings chickens, which are ritually sacrificed. During an Apatani wedding, over 70 chickens are usually killed. Their blood is sprinkled in the granary doorway, which is believed to bring the newlyweds good luck. Special ornaments are made out of bamboo, eggshells, and chicken feathers. They're hung in front of houses and along village paths to bring fortune to the married couple and their families. The wedding feast also includes the ritual sacrifice of a pig. Chunks of pork are laid out to dry, then carved and roasted over an open fire. Guests wash down their meal with rice beer. The feast marks the end of the wedding. The Apatani rely on agriculture for survival and mainly eat rice, but meat is an important part of their diet. And they find it in the most unusual places. The village rat hunt is a community affair. All the young men join in. Rats are smoked out of their nests, captured and killed. Hunts can last for hours. The day's catch is laid out on display. Later, the rats are skewered and barbecued over a small fire. Although the Apatani thrive among the rich forested mountains, they aren't immune to attacks from the animals they share their home with. And when these neighbors fall out, the results can be devastating. The Indian elephant's migratory routes extend throughout Arunachal Pradesh. But their ancient paths have been seriously interrupted by local people. They've been crisscrossed with tea plantations, crops, and houses. To hungry elephants, this isn't always a problem. Human habitats can be a convenient place for a fast food fix. As homes and crops are devastated, tensions between humans and elephants escalate. Conflicts sometimes lead to fatalities on both sides. As crops spread and villages grow, further clashes seem inevitable. The population of Asian elephants has halved in the past 75 years. They are now listed as an endangered species. The destruction of their habitat will likely lead to further fall in numbers. The herd move away quickly and continue their trek. For the time being, despite the tension, this lost world remains their last stronghold. These northeastern forests are also home to India's only wild ape, the hoolock gibbon. Many people mistake the hoolock gibbon for a monkey because of its small size and mischievous appearance. But like other apes, such as chimps and gorillas, the gibbon doesn't have a tail, and its hands have opposable thumbs like humans. The arms of these unusual apes are longer than their legs too. It helps them travel through the trees with ease. These nimble gymnasts have few equals in the forest. Hoolock gibbons are the fastest and most agile of the primates. They mainly use their arms to move between branches, but they can jump over 10 meters too. Males have a black coat and white eyebrows. Females are much lighter in color. Babies are born with white fur, which gradually darkens as they grow older. They mainly eat fruit, but also like leaves, insects, and flowers. But these acrobatic apes are most famous for their singing. Complex calls proclaim territories, reinforce pair bonds, and attract potential mates. Their haunting cries echo throughout the jungles of northeast India. They're so distinctive, they've been adopted by a surprising mimic. These are the hunting cries of a remote tribe. The headhunters of Nagaland live in one of India's most secretive regions. It's been closed to foreigners for many years. In this largely unexplored, isolated area, people scarcely known to the Western world continue a way of life steeped in ancient ritual. This time-lost region is bordered by India, Burma, and China. The Naga are a group of tribes for whom headhunting and mystical healing still hold sway. They're so cut off from the modern world, their traditions have continued without influence. Reaching them involves a journey more treacherous than crossing the highest Himalayan passes. The Naga are a proud people, proud of their customs and their history of headhunting. A headhunter describes how their infamous practice was a traditional rite of passage. It proved a young man was ready for marriage and also helped decide territory. He describes how, as a young man, he was encouraged to hunt young men from neighboring tribes. A small group of warriors would stealthily creep up on lone people and kill them quickly with a knife. He explains how each body part seized allowed one to display decorations on his clothes. Hands, feet, but most prized of all, heads. He explains how the body parts were then given a proper burial in a secret place to thank the gods for his tribe's success and power. A successful headhunter was allowed to wear the most ornate and revered adornments during festivals. These days, manhood is proved in wrestling matches instead. It's a good way to diffuse tension, both within and between local villages. The women are left with the hard work, like collecting food and medicinal plants from deep in the forest. Young men can choose to sleep in men's quarters, called the morang, until they're married. They often stay up late, singing of legends and past battles, and passing knowledge on to the next generation. The young women live in their own dormitories, where they spend evenings brewing rice beer and waiting for the men to come and court them. Faith and fortune are closely aligned with the natural world. A shaman sacrifices a chicken to predict whether a hunt planned for the afternoon will be successful. How the bird's intestines fall is portentous. The omens are good. The hunt will take place. As the hunting party begins, spirits are high. The Naga use gibbon-like war cries to flush out their prey. Hunters pick up the trail of a forest hog. Their aim is to startle their quarry, rather than creep up on it. The kill, when it comes, is quick. As thanks to the gods, the tip of a pig's ear is left in the forest. The carcass will be taken back to the village, butchered, boiled and shared amongst the whole community. A close respect and understanding of nature ties the Naga's beliefs to the world around them. Animals like tigers are considered living deities. Tiger skins are thought to grant their owners immortality. Traditional folk songs and dances are essential ingredients of Naga culture. These celebrations are inspired by a creature which is an icon throughout northeast India. Horn-shaped hair decorations celebrate one of India's most exotic and alluring birds, the hornbill. The great pied hornbill is the largest of the hornbill family. They can live up to 50 years. Hornbills have a long, down-curved bill, which is often brightly colored. These beaks are heavy. Hornbills are the only birds whose first two neck bones are fused together. They eat mainly fruit, but supplement their diet with small mammals, insects, and even snakes. Hornbills choose just one mate. Pairs stay together for years, sometimes a lifetime. During the breeding season, they lay 1 to 2 eggs. When it's time to nest, the female finds a tree hollow and starts to seal it with dung and mud. While she sits on the nest, her partner brings her food. Incubation continues for up to 8 weeks. These beautiful birds are admired and revered by people all across the region. Both their beaks and feathers are highly prized. Especially to one tribe. Hornbill beaks are the most prized possession of the Nishi. They symbolize manhood and valor. Today, the great pied hornbill is protected by law. The Nishi still uses fallen tail feathers, but now weave hornbill beaks out of cane or use fiberglass replicas instead. Hopefully this will help protect this iconic bird from further decline. Throughout India's lost world, the lives of animals and people are intertwined. But the closest relationship is between humans and elephants. The herd have reached the northern tip of India. Here in the foothills of the Himalayas, they should be safe from conflict with man. But the heat of the day can prove just as taxing, even under the shade of trees. A mud bath is one way to keep cool. Although these noises are easy to hear, elephants have an extraordinary way of communicating over long distances. They make low-frequency noises called infrasounds, a series of deep rumbles and foot stomps, inaudible to the human ear. Infrasounds travel a long way and can be heard by other elephants within 100 square kilometers. This gives elephants an incredible hearing range, which can be very useful to help locate other elephants and to warn of danger. The herd can hear something large approaching. It's another herd. And they've got company. They're with the Khamti tribe. These are specially trained elephants called conchis. They separate young elephants from herds. And capture them. One of the tribes spots tracks. The family flees. A young elephant gets separated from the herd. And she's caught. The sight of other elephants comforts the captive. She's brought back to the Khamti village, and, once tamed, will be cared for by a mahout. They will develop a lifelong relationship. Elephants are an integral part of life for the Khamti tribe. The new arrival will be fed and carefully looked after by the mahout. Soon she will be part of the family. She'll have daily baths. And learn to carry out a wide range of jobs, from transportation to ploughing fields. Working in the heat of the sun takes its toll. Elephants can't sweat, so they suck up water from their stomachs and spray themselves to cool down. It's not just their size that's useful to man. Elephants are highly intelligent. Their use of tools is probably as advanced as the great apes. And, like humans, they're self-aware. Domesticated elephants are even released back into the forest in the evening to mix with wild herds and forage for food. Each morning, the elephants return to their mahouts for breakfast and begin the day's work. These elephants have learned to live with people. But for the population to thrive, others must remain wild and continue to follow their ancient migration routes. Scientists are attempting to preserve natural corridors for the elephant's journey, so there is hope. After 4 months, the herd reaches their destination, the fertile lands of the northeast. Now they can feast before they begin their great return journey. India's lost world is a place of jungle-clad mountains, isolated for generations by war and weather. This seclusion has resulted in the protection of mysterious peoples and enigmatic animals, whose lives are woven together by this unique and incredible lost world.